Listen, imagine it. Man telling me I'm going to die alone. I'm going to be the cat lady. One man told me after I did a video, 10 things I would never do again in a relationship, how I just might as well get me a couple of dildos because I'm going to be by myself, because no man would ever agree to the things that I said that I would never do. Now I got this spatula because they believe that I should be in the kitchen, but I'm about to cook in a different way. I want to talk about misogyny, but not just examine it. I want to talk about the men who benefit from you lowering your standards. I want to talk about the fear mongering, the you're going to die alone, the invisible wall. If you're older than 25, you hit a wall that you need to be married and partnered and having children at a certain time. Because this is the thing. Most of the people having this conversation with you are not having this conversation with you because it's from a place of concern. No, they're having this conversation with you because when you have standards, you limit their access. And this is the thing. These men want access to you. They don't want a true relationship with you. I'm going to tell you this. There's nothing wrong with your standards. If I had a microphone on. There's nothing wrong with your standards. Matter of fact, the sign that your standards are good is that somebody has an objective to it. See, the only reason why they're objecting to your standards is because they want access to you. That's it. And this whole fear mongering, if you're going to die alone, nobody's ever going to want you. Good luck with that. A man will never want you. Maybe you should lose some weight. You're not even, what's your market? What is it? Market sexual value. All of that is because they know that many of us no longer, but at one point we're conditioned that we had to be pleasing to a man. And when you decide to center yourself, when you decide that you should date selfishly, you are centering your experience and your life. And these type of men truly have an issue with that. Now, I don't just want to talk about this in a way that we're just like, oh, girl, keep your standards high. No, that's not what I want. I want us to evaluate the type of men, spaces, and places that truly have an issue with you having standards. Because this is the thing, and I've said this many a times, there is nowhere else in the world that you can negotiate with the standard. Do you understand me? If you want a certain interest rate on a mortgage, you have to have the credit score. Now, there's other ways that you could get that interest rate lower, but you have to have the credit score. If you want to go purchase a Porsche like I do, you have to have the money. If you want to get into Stanford, all right, you have to meet the qualifications. But they want you to lower your standards so that they can have access to you. Now, again, who benefits from that? Because you don't benefit from it. See, the thing is, many of us have been conditioned that being single is worse than being in an unhealthy relationship. And these men know that. And what they're attempting to do is to get you to override your standards, override your hard work, override all the hours of therapy, all the hours of coaching, all the podcasts you listen to, all the books you read in order to be with them. And this is the other thing. They really don't be wanting nothing. This is not a man that's choosing to marry you. This is a man who's choosing and wants to waste your time, essentially. Let me put that down. Some what they call a modern woman. I don't even know how to use that for real. Just kidding, I do. Listen, I am not telling you to change your standards. I'm not telling you to make your standards realistic. That is not what I'm attempting to tell you to do, because that's not the issue. The issue is that the bar has been low for so long. And because of misogyny, because of patriarchy, there are people and institutions that are very strategic and wanting women to lower their standards in order to be in a relationship with a man who refuses to do his emotional and mental work and to be able to show, right? To demonstrate that he is safe to love. See, we don't have conversations about that. We have a whole lot of conversations about a woman being wifey material and the things that she needs to do, what a woman brings to the table, but we don't talk about a man being safe. And a man that uses fear in order to get access to you is not a man that you should want to be in relationship anyway. A man that uses fear, he's not providing dating advice. He is engaging in a control strategy. It is manipulation. I remember years ago, while Kevin Samuels was alive, working with a beautiful, talented young woman who was getting her master's degree from one of the top universities, and her coming, Smithy, I'm so frightful. What if? And I'm like, baby, stop listening to the marketing of misogynistic men. And the thing is, what's really sad, it's not just in social media that's barraging us. It's even in spaces and places where we're supposed to be safe. Our friends, our family, and even in our faith communities, this type of messaging is being pushed towards us. But let me get further into this, because this is what it's truly about. This fear campaign about women being alone is only targeted towards us. You don't see women online telling men, oh, you're going to die alone. You don't see women online telling men, oh, you've hit the wall. No. You don't see that. See, the man that's alone, the man who's never been married, he's seen as a bachelor. He's seen as a prize, and it's even marketed that way. Women will perform and give and give and give and give in order to be with that man. But if you are a woman and you are single, now all of a sudden people are looking at you sideways. Like, why haven't you gotten married yet? Why don't you have any children? What's wrong with you that a man hasn't married you? Because in the country, at least in the United States, you don't have validity as a woman until a man says, I do to you. And that's why there's even a whole lot of conversation about single relationship coaches. Oh no, you single women are keeping women single. I remember a man said that to me in the comments of one of my videos. I tell my wife all the time that single women are keeping men single. Sir, if you married, what you over here for? Matter of fact, I know married people watch my content, but I'm just genuinely interested. Why are married people so into what single people are doing? I don't get it. If single people are keeping people single, why are the married people watching the people being single? And why, as a married man, would you be watching a single woman? Right. So this targeted messaging that's being rolled out still, it doesn't target unhealthy women, right? It doesn't target women that are making unhealthy choices in relationships. It doesn't target women who are actually behaving in ways that are destructive. It targets women who are doing fine, just fine. Women who have built something, who have standards, women who are not in a panic about their relationship status, women who are, by most observable measures, living well. There are many women out there who want to be in a relationship, but those women, right? Those women are not the ones that are being targeted. It's the women that say, I'm traveling the world. I'm having a good time. This is my apartment. Look at my apartment that I painted the color I want to. I'm driving the car I want to. I'm accomplishing this. Oh, wait, baby, you about to hit the wall. And I don't understand how a man can be so angry that about how a woman is choosing to live her life. You're going to die alone. I was born alone. I wasn't no twin. And if you new here, you don't know this, but my song by the Yin Yang Twins, smoke by myself, drink by myself, for real, I can't say those words because those are cuss words, and YouTube may, you know what I'm saying, they may, demonetize my video. This is targeted towards healthy women that are living intentionally, are being told that they need to lower their standards or they're going to die alone, or they're going to have many cats. They're going to be the cat lady. They're going to get so old that they're not going to be able to have children. Meanwhile, new research is coming out about as a man gets older, the quality of his sperm decreases. But no, we don't want to have that conversation. It's very intentional. It's so that you panic and make the wrong decision. And see, you've done your healing work. You do not want to make the wrong decision. That is why you're watching this video. But they don't care about that. They want to trigger your nervous system and have you in a relationship with a man who's avoidant, a man who's emotionally unavailable, a man who does not have the ability to take care of himself financially, a man who does not have the ability to communicate. See, you've done the work. You've dated those men before. You can recognize them from far off. And now you're like, I don't want that again. But the way misogyny is set up, it doesn't care what you want. Misogyny only wants you to serve it. And these men only want you to serve them. So let's talk about these men, right? Because they really want to be talked about. They really want to be talked about. And let me be very clear, because there have been some comments about me being a feminist. I have never identified as a feminist. I am a social worker, and a part of social work is to address social injustice and any ism. Racism, sexism, classism is something that we're going to have conversations about over here. Please don't confuse me. Please don't try to put me in a box. Thank you so much. Matter of fact, he called me a loudmouth feminist. Let me tell you, the loudest, most organized version of this messaging does not come from men that mean you well. It comes from men who are openly and proudly hostile against women's autonomy. Men who are on record believing that women should not vote, should not work, should not have opinions, should be available and compliant and grateful for whatever level of partnership they are offered. And the reason why it bothers me, especially in faith spaces, because it's like, do you want love or not? Do you want love? See, the thing is, we are being offered love, but we're not being offered a partner. So these men are not aren't well-meaning. They're not wishing you well. They're not concerned about your physical, your mental, or your emotional health. No. They want to see you in a relationship, not in a relationship that benefits you, but a relationship that benefits misogyny and patriarchy. That's what they want. These are not men who are worried about your loneliness. These are men who are worried about their own access to you. Because if you have high standards and you think you all that and you bougie, then they can't have access to you. But then let's go back. If you let this man have access to you, you marry him, you have children with him, and then it ends up in divorce, or then he abandons you, then it's also on you. So you can't win. You can't win. You danged if you do, and you danged if you don't. Because misogyny doesn't take accountability. Misogyny puts the responsibility on your shoulders. A woman with standards is less accessible. A woman who is afraid of dying alone will compromise to avoid that outcome. Fear lowers the floor. That is the strategy. That if I make you fearful, if I tell you that men don't want this, men don't want that, and that you'll contort and begin to perform. That's why I always talk about do not perform in order to be in a relationship. Because if you start off performing, you're going to continue to perform. But that is the strategy, to get you to perform. That way he can dangle it as a carrot. He dangles marriage as a carrot. He dangles being exclusive as a carrot. And then these men will be upset when they meet a woman like you. And you're like, well, I'm cool if you don't, if we're not compatible, it's okay, I'll move on. Then he has to do something else. Because these men are coming to target your nervous system. They're not coming to get your heart. They're not coming to love you, to adore you, to cherish you. They're not coming so that you can grow and expand in the relationship. No, they're coming so that you have to shrink and minimize yourself so that they can feel big. But a healthy relationship is two people being able to choose each other, two people being able to grow together, to nurture each other, to pour into each other, to have shared values and goals. That's what it's about. It's not about you shrinking yourself, silencing yourself. It's not about you being triggered in the relationship. It's not about you policing your tone. It's not about you watching to see if there's a threat. Is it a good time for you to share what you want, what you desire? It's not another structure where you have to ask permission. You move from your father's house to your husband's house. You had to be obedient here. Now you being obedient there. Because even the word submission has been weaponized as another form of obedience. Come on. For many of us, our value has been tied to one, our youth, and also our willing to compromise. That's where our value has been. This feminine, fit, and friendly. Who benefits from you not having boundaries? And that's why I'm doing the course on July the 18th at 1 p.m. Eastern. If you are a woman, you have boundaries. I know you do. But this is the type of conditioning that many of us were raised in. This is the type of conditioning that many of us still struggle with today. It's bigger than being a people pleaser. Because many of us, myself previously, cannot deal with the discomfort of putting a boundary in place. So you put the boundary in place, you see that it makes them upset, and then you remove the boundary. If that's you, then you need to be in the Girls Need Boundaries course that's going to be on July the 18th. I have a discount code. It's 15 off, 15 off, so that you can save $15. There should be a level of freedom that you have in your relationships. Not fear mongering, not being in a relationship because you fear dying alone. You feel getting older alone. And we have to begin to examine where these beliefs come from. Because quite often these are beliefs that have been given to us from sources that we shouldn't trust. You shouldn't trust a misogynistic man who's telling you that you don't have value. Or a man, you may be 25 years old. That man is in his 40s talking about the women of his age don't want him. The women his age aren't feminine anymore. My guy, he's lying to you. He's lying to you. He's lying to you. There's a whole lot of women that are being taught that their standards are delusional, that there's not a man that will meet their standards, and that's just not the truth. Right? We're taught that our independence is a punishment. That's why we're being told that you don't get too big because no man is going to want you. That men's egos are not going to want them to be with a woman like you. But I want to question you. Would you want to be with a man whose ego is that fragile? That your personhood and your purpose is a threat to him? How is it that God created you in all his majesty? You are created in his image and likeness. And you are doing all these super fantastic things. And he would not create a man that will be able to love you. I don't care what God, Allah, Yahweh, El Shaddai, Elohim, the Rose of Sharon. You telling me he created you with all this purpose? Because I know the ladies that watch my videos, most of you have at least a bachelor's degree. You're the first as it relates to do the healing work in your family, okay? You've had unsuccessful relationships, and what you're trying to do is you want to ensure that your next relationship is a relationship in which is healthy, in which you are able to be your full and authentic self, where you don't have to shrink and you don't have to be a rehabilitation center for a man. But this is the thing. That even faith communities, they don't want to have this type of conversation. Because the truth is, if God created you in all his majesty and you are that girl, you think he can't do it for that guy? So they want you to settle. This is settling. In a space and a place where you're fearful, when you're anxious, where your needs are not being met, where you are giving. Oh, you're over functioning. So you're doing the relationship of two people and it's just you. Who does this benefit? Does it benefit you? If it doesn't benefit you, then you need to schedule a coaching call, or you need to get in the Girls Need Boundaries course. There's a claim that women with standards will not find partners, but we debunked that in the research. If you didn't watch my video, why you accept disrespect, I'll put it up here. We debunked this already with the research, because it said the women who have the highest self-respect have the most healthy relationships. So they're telling you to lower your standards, but the research has already debunked that. If you haven't watched that video, I'm going to put it here so that you can watch it. Women are choosing to be single in record numbers, and study after study shows that single women report higher levels of well-being, life satisfaction, and mental health than their married counterparts, particularly when the alternative is a bad marriage. Being alone is not the worst outcome. That's what they're trying to convince us. Being in the wrong partnership is the worst outcome. by nearly every measurable metric: mental health, physical health, financial stability, life expectancy. Women that are in unhealthy marriages have a shorter life expectancy than single women. So the fear that you're being sold is backwards. The research says staying in a bad relationship kills you faster than being alone. So they're scaring you about the wrong outcome. The woman who died alone, they warned you about, is not dying. The woman who settled to avoid the outcome is surviving, barely, on her own emotional reserves. And let me talk about the wall. This imaginary wall that when you're 25 and you're not married, you're not in a relationship, right? If a man genuinely cared about you having children, if you want them, he will be having a conversation with you that is supportive, specific, and private. And see, these conversations they are being held in private, but there's a whole lot of conversation being held online that many women are internalizing. And then you're seeing your worth and your value through this unhealthy narrative. And the other thing, women that have children, there's an attack on women because I'm a single mother. There's an attack on you. Why? Because how dare you think that you deserve a man that's going to love you? That's why they have an issue with Sierra Russell. That's why they have an issue with any single mother being loved out loud, or any woman that's older being loved out loud. But this is a sign of immaturity. The men who have a problem with you and your past and your history, that is not a man that you should be with. That is not a man that understands that your values can change. That is not a man that understands that you have made a mistake in your life, or that relationships sometimes run their course. And when you are in your 20s and you're dating, what you think about, what you consider, and what you value then is very different when you get older. And let me go ahead and kill this lie before somebody says that, oh, the girls, they don't want the good guys. They only want the swag guys. And so when they're young, they want the swag guys. And then when they get older, they want a good guy like me. You're not a good guy. Because that's your ego talking. Because if you are a good guy, you will understand also in your history, you've made some mistakes. And maybe the problem is the women that you wanted, you didn't respect that they weren't interested in you. So maybe all of the men are going after the baddest of the baddest. Could that be it? Can y'all see me rolling my eyes? I'm such a good guy. I'm such a good guy. The ladies, they didn't want me, but now they all on me. Now they want it. And come on. Man will be 955 years old talking about something that happened when he was 17. Come on. Many men use these talking points. Whether you're a single mother, how can you think a man is going to love you or want to take care of you and you got these children? Y'all saw that man on tonight's conversation who talked about he don't mind dating single women, single mothers, but he don't want to see the children. He don't want to have anything to do with the children. And it makes me question, what woman is dating him that has that mentality and that mindset? The men who are the most loudly, most publicly, most gleefully talking about women's biological clocks are not men who women want to have babies with. There are men who want women to panic. It's all to get you to get into the wrong relationship. That is it. The clock is not a concern, it's a weapon. And the men wielding it are not worried about your fertility. They are worried about your leverage. When you make a decision that I'm only going to date like this, you change. Like we say, there's pee in the dating pool. It's not pee. The dating pool is evolving. And when you make the decision that this is how I'm going to show up, and it doesn't even have to be in dating, it could just be in life in general. The people who benefited the most from you showing up how you were previously, they have an issue with it. Why? Because they can't take advantage of you. That's all it boils down to. A man saying you want too much, you need too much, you doing too much. So stop letting men who are never going to choose you tell you what it means to be chosen. These men are not going to choose you. The men who are most aggressively telling you that your standards are too high, almost without exception, are men who do not meet those standards. And they know it. And they know it. They know it. And the problem is, how dare you be a single woman over 25 having standards? How dare you be a single mother of 3 children and want to have standards? No, I want to be able to get you on discount. I want to be able to get you on discount. I want to be able to negotiate your standards and your boundaries, because this is the thing. They see your value. They know you're valuable. But if you are willing to negotiate your standards, it's a win for them. But when you don't, then they have an issue with it. A man who meets your standards has no investment in convincing you to lower them. Only a man who cannot meet them needs them to come down. That's what it boils down to. So the next time you see something online that's misogynistic, the next time someone tells you, even when it seems well, because sometimes women do this too, about your standards being too high, you need to question who will benefit from it. Who benefit from it? Because it's not you. You've made enough relationship mistakes. You've been married, maybe even you've been married and now you're divorced now. And this is the type of advice you listen to right here. And it's very intentional. We have to begin to question the messages that are pushed towards us. The messages that want to challenge our autonomy and the decisions that we've made for ourselves. See, the women who are actually thriving are not the ones who compromise to avoid being alone. And one Hill Squad member, she said, I think I got into my last relationship. It was unhealthy because I was alone, because I was lonely. And so you may have to address your loneliness, because these type of men are banking that your loneliness, that your fear will cause you to be in a relationship with them, because they don't want to rise to the occasion. They think just being a man is enough. They want you to take it or leave it. They want to be able to dictate and control your life. Now, somebody say, well, Cynthia, this is fear-mongering too. This is fear-mongering too. This is not fear-mongering. This is telling you the truth about unhealthy beliefs and concepts that have been pushed on us. There's a difference. There's a difference. All right? If you're new here, this is Heal to Do Sexy. My name is Cynthia. Until we talk again.